Don't need the bow for now. So this was what we had to investigate over here. But there was another path. Oh! What the heck? Oh no. This is deeply upsetting. This man, he's the one who sent me on my journey to begin with. He must have gone hollow, insane, just like we predicted. I wasn't able to spare him that fate. Dear, oh dear. And he doesn't have an Estus flask because he gave his to me. Oof. Sorry, my friend. Hopefully, this will be giving you peace now. Now we've gotten a new shield, just like from the Black Knight, but from our former friend. Let's see what he has given us as his parting gift. The Crest Shield. Not quite the Knight Shield. Very similar, but this one is not of this particular type. See, this is a heater shield. This is a kite shield. I'll take to wearing that for a second here. Shield of a nameless knight. Likely a high-ranked knight of Hastora. So it's not the case that he was actually a common knight at all, as I asserted first. He's just not one of the Silver Knights. He's from a different land, a land of Astora rather than Lordran. One of the enchanted blue shields. That's something to keep in mind. The Crest Shield greatly reduces magic damage. So this is a good weapon. If we get into a dangerous situation, we might just need that extra protection. And it's light enough that we don't have to take any equipment off to properly wield it. Okay, that's where the Black Knight was. I was coming back this way. Got turned around just ever so slightly. So, he confronted me right here. What does that say about where he was coming from? He must have come from over here. From here. This is where we left him. Rest at the bonfire to replenish the Estus flask. There he was. But not anymore. Now, let's look to see... Whoa! Someone reset the trap! What the heck? You jerk! Okay, that's a door we've already been through. That's not where we need to go. And... that has got us properly fixed. Okay, this might be the proper door that we're looking for. Hey there, buddies. Oh no! How unfortunate. Well, I'll just have to find my way back there. Do 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 do. Gotta get used to this new shield. It's got less in the way of immediacy in its responsiveness compared to the previous one. As makes sense, the buckler was very much specialized. There! Getting used to it properly already. Hey, friend! Bye-bye. So, let's see if this is the door. Undead Asylum, floor 2, west key. Excellent. This is an interesting passage. It looks like it was carved directly out of the side of some big stone. So what does that mean? That's a big drop-off. An archer could have been posted here to fire down into a boss fight. Oh ho ho ho! I remember you. Rusted iron ring. And I won't be able to get down or back up again if I drop down, so let's see. I think that might be the only thing that we need to mess with here. I might just be able to head back out to the crow. What does this say? I did it! Rusted iron ring. Improves balance on poor footing. This iron ring was used to shackle the guilty. Ooh. It is terribly rusted and faintly stained with blood. Those who find this strange ring to their liking will be pleased to find it is easier to gain footing on poor ground, such as in swamps. Excellent. I will have to keep that in mind because I know there's gonna be some swamps now that it's told me about it. So, iron is associated with swamps. That's actually true in real life. You can find iron in bogs. And that's actually one of the main ways that the Nordic people in particular were able to acquire iron so that they could make weapons. So there's a natural association here. But rust and iron and red have some associations in Elden Ring as well. They're linked with Radagon, the Misbegotten, and blood in general. Finding footing on poor ground. Now that's somewhat funny if you think about the fact that Radagon fell nearly to his death from the precipice of anticipation in the same way that we Tarnished did so at the beginning of the game. If in fact you agree that he's the Stormlord and also the Revenger, as I believe is pretty clear if you test the evidence, but that's just me. We'll look to see if iron has any interesting associations in this game, though, as well. I'm sure that we'll find some interesting answers to that And especially once we actually reach the swamp. So let's see. Nothing back here. Nope. Okay, that's a loop, so can't actually go that way. Yeah, let's go this way. And see about leveling up, because I think the bonfire should allow us to do so. Oh, we need more souls. How unfortunate. Good thing we have a couple of items that'll provide those for us. Large soul of a lost undead. 400 souls isn't enough, though. Let's see what else we've got. Oh, no! Well, we'll just have to see about killing some of their enemies. Maybe if we take out these funny torch hollows here, we'll be able to have enough. I'm not falling for your tricks again. Dun 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 dun. Oh no! It seems I was too distracted by the fact that the enemies were over there and forgot that there were enemies already in this room. Hey, little guy. Now let's try to go a little bit more sneakily over here. Bye-bye! Hey, 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 boom, boom, bum, 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 bum. And that's the way you do it. I'll have to kill them again, but leveling up is just too good to pass up here. So, I will go Endurance 1 since I had intended to do so earlier. I wonder what that is signaling. Do I need to get my boots repaired? Durability 75 of 250. Okay, I guess I'll have to head to Andre of Astora. Thank you for noting my armor is at risk. Sorry. Not sorry. And here we are. We now have some humanity, so I think it's time to go. Let's find out if there is another Ring of Sacrifice, or if we'll get a different reward for dropping this. Do 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 do. Dark Souls.
You give me warm, give me soft.
Well, I think I just did. So thank you for the ring. The Ring of Sacrifice. This ring is black, but is also gleaming with gold. So that's an interesting thought. Gold is associated with divinity and is being applied to black here. And if you think about it, let's see here. This Estus flask is glowing gold in the same way that we think about sunlight being a sort of warm yellowish color. I wonder what that could mean. Sunlight metal is definitely associated with the Estus flask. Let's see what this normal Ring of Sacrifice does. Lose nothing upon death, but ring breaks. So, the rare Ring of Sacrifice is differentiated by nullifying curses. Let's see if that's actually fully true as we look in here. Mystical Ring was created in a sacrificial rite of Velka, the goddess of sin. Its wearer loses nothing upon death, but the ring itself breaks. It doesn't say anything about its description this time. So that's interesting. It's also worth noting that it's not actually black like the fire opal completely. It's a sort of silvery gray color. A murkiness is here. Even so, it does make it seem like it's probably the case that it's talking about some sort of humanity and divinity coming together, the union that we saw was important to Velka at that church. So let's curl up into a ball and be reborn in Lordran once again. Take me, O great Velka Crow. It is interesting that it doesn't perch at its nest. Why does it perch down below like that? Ow. Well, I'm not getting up directly to try to see if I can get its attention. Let me use my item! I want to heal with Estus, come on! That was weird. As I was listening to the snoring, my ability to heal was disabled. Hung. Wonder if there's anything new here. Oh, there's a passage that we didn't find before. This is interesting. There's an entirely new part of... Oh! Hey, I freed you from prison. How are you?
Ah, hello there. I have your reward. Please, accept it.
Oh, nice. A sunlight medallion. He must enjoy jolly cooperation as much as we do.
I'm grateful to you for freeing me. Not enough for you? Well, let's not be greedy now.
It's also interesting that his armor is also gold, and green. Green is a color that is also on Solaire's armor. But here is a sheen that is rather embedded in this very interesting armor that he has here. It's an armor that's embracing him. This very much reminds me of the armor of D in Elden Ring, which has an image of another person that's hugging onto their chest. I wonder what this means. Could this character be connected with D in some way? D's certainly a bit of an extremist, a religious zealot, if you will. And that's a little bit foreboding for him, but I don't know. This guy is also looking right over here. He sees that there's another prison and he's thinking about his time there. I guess there's nostalgia on the brain. Saint ahead. Oh? Oh, there's a person in prison here. Oh, she cannot speak. But she has power anyway. That's interesting. This woman can accept Fire Keeper's souls and reinforce the Estus Flask. The question is, why is an Estus Flask able to be reinforced with a Fire Keeper soul? The flask itself actually has the answer. See, if we'll remember, the Estus Flask is specifically stated to be linked to the Fire Keepers. And it's a treasure of dull green. Specifically, it's emerald. And it's from the Keeper's soul. So by taking another soul and layering on additional layers of emerald, you make the glass flask thicker, and thereby not only more difficult to break, I should think, but probably magically able to concentrate more healing into the flask. Because that's probably the entire point of the soul in the first place. To make sure that you can take a little bit of the fire from the bonfire to heal you like the bonfires bring you back to life. The Fire Keeper's souls facilitate this. So let's reinforce the flask. It's a bit tragic that a Fire Keeper's soul has to be used to make these items, but, well, I don't know what'll have to be done with it otherwise. Might be eaten by a demon if we don't. Estus Flask reinforced. So, let's try to talk to her again, despite the fact that she can't respond. No response, cannot speak. No response, cannot speak. Oh well, guess it's time to leave her alone. Let's see if this guy has anything else to say, though. Kicking ahead. No, that would be very rude. What do you want to say, friend?
By the Lords, your face. Your humanity is really slipping, but there are methods. Most fools have more humanity than they know what to do with. Now, who do you imagine will make the best use of it?
That's interesting. He's suggesting that I should stockpile and make use of humanity to help maintain myself as someone sane. That's nice. Friend wants to keep his savior going. But there's probably an undercurrent of other stuff in mind that he has. Who properly keeps humanity? Well, I know other undead actually do. As long as they are actually not hollowed themselves, they should have humanity. So is he encouraging me to kill other undead and take their humanity to sacrifice it to myself? Maintain my own existence? Or is he saying that someone else is stockpiling humanity and making it a scarcer resource for we undead to maintain ourselves with. We do know humanity is burnt in order to fuel the fires. And now that we know that there's a firekeeper in there, probably. I mean, who else would be able to manipulate the firekeeper's souls? And it's directly below the bonfire up here. So I imagine there's actually a good chance of her being a firekeeper at the very least. Although, to be fair, it's a bit of a leap. Let's assume that's the case. The firekeepers handle humanity. They themselves are presumably integrated into some sort of religious rite for doing so, given they have their statues in Velka's church. So I think what this means is he might be opposed to the firekeepers, and he's glaring at her in that cage, thinking about the fact that he was just in a situation very similar to her. And it's ironic. The people that he's opposed to are being jailed for some reason. The question is, are the bars to keep others out or to keep her in? Is she being protected, or is the fact that she is wearing raggedy clothes that are quite dirty and has a despondent look with a tongue that is probably cut out? I mean, to be fair, she could have been born mute, but I think there's a good chance that she might have been mutilated and left there, forced into a very difficult position. So are the priests of whatever religion is doing this, maybe the religion of Velka, since Velka was associated with... Oh! Ah! When I approached the priest of Velka, who was in black, I was a member of the Way of White, and he called me a friend and an ally. So the white and the black are allied together, and they're related to the Firekeepers. Now, this is probably also related to the fact that the white of the souls we found, based on the Firekeeper soul, is strongly related to the black of humanity. They're supposed to come together to keep the person sane and intact. But these people are collecting humanity. They're stockpiling it and gradually keeping the fires lit with fuel. What is causing them to possibly betray their own principles? Since we established it's most likely the case that the Order was saying there's some sort of sacred union between humanity and the gods that was going on. Velka seems to endorse it. Presumably Gwen, whose name is White, endorsed it. The black and the white come together. The Way of White probably is guarding this Firekeeper here. Petrus said there's another person of the Way of White that's going on some sort of undead pilgrimage. That may or may not have to do with the bonfires, but it certainly has to do with the Lordran. What's going on here? It seems like the faith might have had some sort of quote-unquote reform that led them to being more corrupt and more dangerous, if Petrus and his despicable attitude have anything to say about it. It seems like it might even be the case that, well, is Velka herself on the path of corruption? Or has she taken a step back because of the fact that she is trying to seek some sort of solution here? I don't know. Her priest called me a friend because I was inducted into the Way of White. But that might not be reflective of the actual attitude of Velka. She could have lost control of her clergy as well. We'll have to look into this and see what's going on. And see whether or not this guy's distrust of probably the Way of White and the Velka religion is actually warranted. Are they? Well, they're actually responsible, at least in part, it seems, for the myth of the undead prophecy. Velka's facilitating our journey here. So that would suggest, yeah, there is some sort of, unless the priesthood controls the crows, but I don't know. The undead prophecy is intended to channel undead here and make us go on a foolish quest that man up there is probably correct. It's probably basically a suicide mission. Undead are being pinned and used as resources here. We're putting humanity into the bonfires. Oh, we're keeping them kindled. That's it. Those bonfires are so important that a prophecy has caused the undead to be drawn into this land to deposit their humanity and make sure that the bonfires stay kindled. There's something about them that has caused a corruption, or more extremism at least, in the religion, that is causing deception to go into play so that we can fuel their fires. And this guy is clued into it, and he doesn't like what's going on. He's thinking about the fact that these firekeepers are abused. And he's wondering what he should do since I freed him of a similar situation. There's no lock on this door, it's just a cage, and he's probably not as strong as one of the Black Knights, so it's going to be harder to free her. So what's he going to do? We'll just have to wait and see. But there's more to explore over this way. More stairs. This is a very, very crumbly passage. It's almost as if some sort of war went on to hit it with artillery, but I'm not sure if that's even the case. It might just be that people leaned up on it too much on the edge there and it wasn't supported well enough. Oh, and here's an elevator. That's interesting. This elevator has... okay, it has chains surrounding it, linked with alternating shapes. You've got 5 of the horizontally stacked ones, and then 4 of the vertical, so that's 9 on each line. You can say that's associated with divinity right there. So there's some sort of divine thing that's going on here, especially since you also have an 8-pointed star. You have an 8-pointed star with a symbol in the very center that makes it 9. That's crucible or karma, and then you have divinity associated with it. And then you also have 9 intersecting circles. You have a central circle that is encompassed by 4 more, and then you have 4 more circles that are linked to these. So you've got 9 plus 8 is 17. 17 is... let's see. 17 is chlorine. It's associated with glintstone. So, the stars? Some sort of heavenly power is involved here? Or the night. That might be it. Maybe fear of the night is fear of the dark? I don't know. We've seen lots of themes to do with fire so far. But let's keep that in mind as we look at the rest, because there's 4 on every side here. In the corners, there's another sort of ovular shape, like a bigger link in all of the chains. So that's death. You have this elevator is associated with death. Death is being associated with glintstone, which is specifically spirits, dead things from the stars that are crystallized. So, spirits, death, the crucible and divinity, or karma, struggle and divinity. And the dead are the undead. They have their spirits that are actually possessing their bodies. I don't know if this is the same sort of stuff that's going on here. Is it talking about other types of spirits, or is it just talking about the undead which have their spirits possessing them? But you have a set of 4 different 9s on the periphery. That's 36, and 36 is Krypton, the hidden one. So there's some sort of secret knowledge or secret meaning that's associated with here. Maybe hiding. Maybe there's some sort of conspiracy, some sort of hidden agenda that's being referenced that this elevator will lead us towards. And then finally, we have 4 more on the periphery as well, which adds in with the 36 and becomes zirconium. Zirconium is associated with false diamonds and also false gold. It looks like gold, but it's not. So you have a sort of fool's gold that is associated with this conspiracy or some sort of hidden knowledge. Maybe a false divinity, a deception involved in divinity. And you then have the central 17. So let's go up 8 and then 9. 8 is cadmium, which creates, it's associated with phoenixes, revival. Cadmus was the son of a phoenix. In Elden Ring, cadmium is associated specifically with Godwyn the Golden. So Godwyn the Golden was sacrificed in a sort of death ritual, and then after destined death went into him, his eyes opened again and he became a sort of undead god. However, this was covered up by the established powers of the realm, and as the Prince of Death, he was actually, he had his neck snapped. This is a big reveal when we arrive in the roots of the Erd Tree. We find Godwyn is buried there, immobile, despite the fact that he almost certainly, since we're looking at horror tropes here, when a corpse suddenly opens its eyes, it's going to start moving, either like a zombie or some sort of revenant. He becomes undead despite the fact that he's also a demigod, so he's an undead divinity. And he's probably trying to get power here. That very much reminds me of Nito, who is the Lord of the Dead in this world. So there might be some sort of Nito or Chthonic in general associations here. You go, the elevator probably leads down. Maybe it's down as being associated with that, but the dead are definitely being invoked. And some sort of colors as well, possibly, because cadmium is known for alloying with stuff in order to make lots of different colors. You have gold and red and blue, I think, come about through cadmium bonding with other stuff. So maybe it could even be associated with some sort of alliance that would fit with the conspiracy angle. Some sort of alliance to do with death, which would be interesting because of the fact that so much is focused on life here. You're trying to support the sun, make it eternal based on the temple that we found last time. This is clearly some sort of hidden death current that's going on there. They're thinking about death as something important, maybe something divine. And 49 and 57 should also be important. So I need to look up what element 49 is. Element 49 is indium. Indium is associated with dark blue. It's a color that is associated with the Carian royalty. This is in part because of the fact that it is used to make dyes that are specifically royal blue. So that is an interesting sort of connection there. We have a blue faction that is supposed to be associated with the Knight's Shield, so we'll have to keep that in mind. We don't know exactly what's that's supposed to mean quite yet. Let's continue on to 57. Oh yes, I guess actually it could be indicating that Velka's to do with death in some way here. Because not only are crows a dark sort of black that borders on blue, raven is a hair color that has that same sort of feeling. Raven hair is associated with slight bluish tinges, and ravens are often sort of thought as being blackish blue. Oh! And 57 doubles down on the hiddenness here. Lanthanum is element 57, and lanthanum comes from the Greek word lanthanein. Lanthanein means to keep or to lie hidden. So, this elevator is talking about some sort of conspiracy to do with death, maybe to do with Nito. Maybe there's an alliance between Velka and Nito that's going on here. But regardless, let's go down the elevator and see what we'll find. It's worth noting that this is a different design for an elevator than the one that was in the temple, but it's using the same sort of rusted iron chains on four corners manner as before. Here's a lever, okay. I assume that means we can actually get here through a different direction, because otherwise we wouldn't really have a reason to pull that. Oh, more items, hooray! Soul of a nameless soldier was a little hidden out of the way there. Okay, there's a hollow down there. That one is holding its ears and looking terrified. So, this strikes me as an area like the Undead Asylum, where initially there were quite a few hollows that are just scared out of their wits. Yep, that guy's gone crazy. He's like, oh no. And I think that might be because this place is encased in fog. It's all scary. That one's praying, hoping that there's going to be some sort of salvation for this place. And it has deep water that's covering it up. Water, the opposite of fire. It really is starting to look like there's some sort of deathly conspiracy here. So, let's see. What else can I find? More and more. Oh, this guy's mourning his dead companion. S-Stock, that is interesting. The S-Stock is also associated with the Carrion Royals. You find it not only in, you find the S-Stock not only in shops in Liurnia. Oh, that guy's, but you also find it in the starting equipment of the prisoner class, and the prisoner is explicitly Carrion Tide. Oh? Ah, yep, there it is. Item. Transient Curse. And there's rickety bridge here. This rickety bridge implies that this area was inaccessible for a long time, and we can see now these are some real nasty ruins. Nasty stuff. They have been decaying for a long time. This blue light also is associated with Liurnia. Water and blue and Liurnia. This is beginning to make me really think of the fact that we had the Knight of Black Knives on our hands, which was another conspiracy that was sort of treasonous against a golden regime. One that had actually stolen the power of the sun, so it's like this same thing in Elden Ring. Okay, let's look at the Transient Curse, though. transient curse, meaning you don't have to cure it with one of those rare rings of sacrifice. Temporarily allows engagement with ghosts. Limb of the victim of a curse. Temporarily cursing oneself allows one to engage with ghosts. The only way to fight back against them is to become cursed oneself. The safest method, however dreadful, is to cut off an arm of the dead. Interesting. So, there are going to be ghosts in there. This is what this is telling me. It's preparing us to go in and to investigate the ghosts. You even see some ghostly glow. And ghosts are actually a big theme in Liurnia as well. You have the Wraith Callers, who call up the Royal Revenants, who are basically just ghosts, and they spit ectoplasm at you. So not only do you have the themes of Liurnia going on here, you have conspiracy against the royal house, you have some sort of hidden agenda associated with the darkness, the night, with water. That's interesting. And I am not sure I should go there right now, because I now have the key to the lower Undead Burg, which means I'm not actually done exploring in this area up here yet. I'll leave these guys alone. I'll leave the ghosts alone. They can rest a bit longer before I have to beat them up. So, let's head back up top and close things out for this time being. Oh, yeah, I need to go to Andre of Astora as well. I forgot about that. Because I need my boots repaired. Okay. Back at Firelink Shrine. Oh, what was the name of that place? I missed that earlier. I'm sure the title card will appear soon. Let's see. Come on. New Londo Ruins. So it is a ruined area. And unfortunately for it, it's a ruined area that was refounding some other place. So bad luck on wherever Lando's place is. New Londo, that's what it is. Bad luck on Londo's part. Londo got ruined twice over, it would seem. Firelink Shrine. Still nothing over there. When will the person who's snoring be revealed to us? We'll just have to find out next time. But boots, very important. Do 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 do. Undead perish. Yes, they do. They perish a lot. Ooh, sneaky, sneaky. Oi, oi, oi. Using a heavier shield is going to be difficult to get used to. Should really start probably blocking with it more, rather than just trying to parry, but... Hey there, Andre. Can you help me? Can I get a little bit of assistance?
Well, hello again. You seem to be doing all right. Need anything forged?
Indeed. Please repair my equipment. Let's go with this, and this, and I'll repair you, and ooh, lots of stuff to repair here. No, my boots!
Don't get yourself killed. Neither of us want to see you go hollow.
No, indeed. Ugh. Let's see. I guess I'll have to use that soul. The soul of a nameless soldier. You know, the fire that I get from burning that soul of a nameless soldier in my hand, sort of similar to the fires at the New Londa ruins.
Well, hello again. You seem to be needing.
Okay. Reinforced weapons. Excellent. Here we are. Don't have enough Titanite shards to continue on that path, but I already have a pretty good weapon.
Yourself killed.
I shall
Neither
endeavor
of us want to see you go hollow.
not to do so. Farewell, Andre, and farewell, my friends and viewers. Until next we join each other, dark souls see endless nights. Remember,